What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast. And it must be close to football season because y'all know what's happening today. We got my man Travis Thomas on to give you the do's and don't for this year's football season. We're going to talk a little NFL. We're going to talk some Olympics. We're going to do a whole bunch. But the most important thing that we got going on today is Travis Thomas is in the building so he can help you get your pockets right like we always do around this time of the year. We got a packed show for you. I hope y'all ready. Buckle up. Let's go.
Artlist.io.
Welcome back to First String Podcast. Do not forget to like and subscribe to First String Podcast. Give us that good thumbs up. Hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. And the most important part about this is that you tell a friend to tell a friend about First String Podcast, all right? When y'all do that, we get to do what we do, which is entertain you all. Listen, say it's coming in hot. You know we got regular 9 to 5s. HR's in the building, and she passed out plenty of fines from the last show. Me and Corey, we got them. All right, but let's get to it. HR, how are you?
I'm well. And don't forget, there were fines from Tuesday. Just because I wasn't here. I was on auntie duty, but just because I wasn't here does not mean that I don't know.
Okay, that's right. That's true. Well, waving the American flag is our guy, Travis Thomas. Let's find out why he's so excited. What's happening, Travis?
Hey, Travis.
USA, gold medal, baby. Let's go.
Of course.
Listen, Steph Curry did rock them boys to sleep today from France, and it was an amazing thing to see. It was.
Yeah.
Steph understood the assignment, man.
You talk about it. He did. He did. Hey, and he didn't just wait for it to happen. He went and got it. He went got it. He went and got it. So yeah, that was an awesome game, and we're gonna get into that right now. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. We got Bruce Glass checking in first place like he always does. What's going on, Bruce?
What's up, Bruce?
We got Dump Truck Don here, and Dump Truck Don's provided our question of the month. Don.
Hey.
Don's in the building. We got our main man Droop is in the building. He's here. Okay, so listen, right? I was on the OGs of the DMV podcast this morning with them talking to little Commanders before the game, and this leads into John's comment here. He says, I'm about to hop on the treadmill to watch picks, so don't be doing a smooth Isaac Hayes voice on Travis like you did this morning.
Yeah, we don't need that.
What? I need that voice. What we talking about?
No.
What happened?
This morning, this is what happened. This is what happened. They needed to get their lady viewership up, so I gave them a little something.
Oh my goodness, really?
Ooh, quiet storm, baby.
Yeah, I hit him with the joint like this. I was like, listen, this is what needs to happen around this time, around this place.
This is not that kind of show.
So y'all need to. I got their lady viewership up 100% immediately.
Not that kind of show.
Their lady viewership shot through the roof. They shot through the roof. I'm telling you. That's what I did.
I see you, baby.
Right. What's happening, vlog? My man is on here. Oh, well, my bad. There's your comment. He said, what's good? And then my man, Ron O'Neill, who met Travis, is on. He says, hey. He said, what's up? And then we got shouts out to the Travis Thomas experience. I missed the Travis Thomas experience. See, when you tell people that you're coming back, you're here. Now.
I ain't never left, man. I'm
Never
family, and I always tell people, I'm still on TV, still on radio. Just follow me on social media at Travis Thomas Experience so you can keep up with me. I appreciate the support always.
Yeah, you know we got love for you, Travis. Now, I hope y'all got y'all pens and paper ready. Bruce Glass last year gave us a banger. He told us right off the rip that Houston was going to be amazing, okay? So, Bruce, I need your assignment right now. I need you to tell me, who do you think is going to be amazing this year so we can know? Yes. Travis, I know you understand the assignment. So the first things first is this. The first assignment is this one right here. The NCAA. They expanded to a 12-game playoff this year. Mm-hmm. Who Do you think? Oh, matter of fact, before we go too far, make sure that you only gamble what you can afford to gamble and spend what you can afford to spend. All right. Um, gamble at your own risk. Don't go out here betting the house when you don't have it to bet. All right. Be responsible with your gambling. And make sure you guys check around for the best lines that you could possibly get. That way you get the best bang for your buck. Travis, let's talk a little college right now. Okay. Tell me who you think is going to win the national championship this year. Um, and then I'll show the favorites.
Well, I just like Oregon. I like Oregon to win the national title this year. I mean, remember, they're not in the Pac 12 anymore. And you could say in the past, well, the Pac 12 is weak compared to when you start looking at the SEC and the Big Ten and some of the other conferences. But even though the Pac 12, all the main teams rolled up out of there, I thought last season was the best maybe I've ever seen the Pac 12 top to bottom. So they come in, the Oregon Ducks I'm talking about, they come into the Big Ten absolutely battle tested. And you see it there, 7-1 odds.
Yep.
And, I would say to grab that now. Georgia and Ohio State, the prohibitive favorites for good reason. I'll be honest with you, if Ohio State doesn't win it this year, I don't think they ever will. But I like Oregon to come out of the Big Ten. Obviously they're going to have to deal with Ohio State. They could even lose to Ohio State, but with the expanded playoff, Oregon's going to get in there regardless. Dylan Gabriel, I like for the Heisman as well. So because if I see him doing a Heisman campaign, I could see the Ducks getting it done. Well coached with Dan Lanning, all those players coming back. Again, the Pac-12 being tough really prepares them for the Big Ten. So I like Oregon to win it all this year.
All right, Lady A, go ahead, do that HR thing that you got going on right there. Go ahead.
First I want to say, in reference to Oregon, I'm always with the Duck. Okay.
She does believe in Donald.
Always with the Duck. Every time we talk about him, I'm like, I'm going with the Duck. I'm going with Donald Duck. Like, he's angry, he fights. I'm with it.
Yeah.
So I agree completely with that. I do want to kind of give a disclaimer in reference to gambling. There is a gambling addiction hotline, 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. That is the number for the National Problem Gambling Helpline. It serves as a resource for individuals who may be struggling with gambling or gambling addiction, or for their loved ones.
Yep.
That's our disclaimer.
There we go. That's our disclaimer right there. Since we are talking college right now, how do you feel about LSU? They're 2,000 or 20-1, pretty much. So $2,000 if they win the national championship right there. As the graphic only had the top 6 on it, they were actually number 7.
Yeah, I mean, listen, LSU, you can never count out. I actually, when I'm looking at the SEC this year, this might surprise you, but I'm actually on Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss at 16.
Yeah, I like. Listen, the thing about Ole Miss, and this isn't so much for the national championship. I'm just talking about teams I like in the SEC, and I like Ole Miss a little bit better than LSU simply because, it's Lane Kiffin's time. And sort of what I was saying about Ohio State. If Ohio State doesn't win the national championship this year, with all the talent they have, Jim Harbaugh now in the NFL, mostly all those players on that championship Michigan team from last season now in the NFL are graduated. So this is really Ohio State's time. But with that being said, I still like Oregon to win the Natty. I feel the same way in the SEC. Obviously, you have Alabama. They have a great coach. Even though Saban's gone, they still have a tremendous coach. We know Milroe's going to be great at quarterback. We know Georgia, top to bottom, is fantastic. So the SEC is going to be the SEC. We already know what it is. Plus, you throw Texas in there now as well.
Yep.
But I like Ole Miss to be a sleeper. Maybe look at them for the over on win totals this season. And the reason I say that is because Jackson Dart, Lane Kiffin, that offense, and you look at the first part of their schedule pick. I don't know if you have it in front of you.
I have
their first 4 or 5 games are cakewalks. They're going to score 70 points on those loser teams you're looking at. Wow. What they have to worry about is their defense. Their defense has been a sieve for years. They hit the transfer portal. They should be better. Watch out for Ole Miss this season.
Ole Miss. Ole Miss is. Oh, wait. Hold on.
That was plus 1,600.
They're plus 1,600, but they're to win the SEC. Let's go there. Conference
Okay.
winners to win the SEC. They're plus 700. Plus 700 to win the SEC. Georgia's at plus 200. Texas is at plus 325. Alabama's at plus 700, and LSU's at plus 1,000. Those are your
Okay.
top 5 teams right there. Regular season wins, which Travis was talking about right here for Ole Miss, Mississippi region. Okay, it's 9.5 at plus 135.
Yep, I would take the over on that at plus money. I'm trying to pop up their schedule, but I just remember looking at it and seeing the first. All right, here it is: Furman, Montana State, Wake, Georgia Southern.
Yeah,
I mean
that's
that's
1,000 points.
Yeah, that's four bye weeks before they host Kentucky. They do pick. You bring up LSU. They go to Death Valley on October 12th. That's going to be tough. So, obviously the schedule toughens up, but the first 4 weeks, I mean, honestly, they're going to put up 70 points against all those teams.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
All right, what's up to Grandpa? He went to LSU and got drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. Boo, 1944. That's okay. Good times. I wasn't born yet.
Steve Van Buren's a great all-time player. That's cool.
Yeah, I know.
It is.
Okay, let's jump to the NFL. I tried to get that in before Sid got here and dominated the conversation about Georgia.
Good.
But we got that in. All right, so before we get to Super Bowl conference champions and things like that, let's run through the divisions, okay? Let's start off with the AFC. The AFC East, we're looking at the Bills at plus 175, the Jets at plus 185, the Dolphins at plus 200, and the Patriots at plus 2,500, which means, yeah, right. Who do you like in the AFC East?
Well, you guys know I cover the Patriots, and you see those odds there. I think the odds tell the story, right? It's been tough sledding up here in New England, but listen, I already bet this, actually. I bet the Dolphins at 2-1.
Nice.
I understand the odds for the Bills. I understand the odds for the Jets, but I believe it's hype for both of them. The Bills really took a step back. First of all, let's look back on last season. They struggled really all year. Then they got hot at the end.
Yeah.
And they won the division. They got in the playoffs. Everyone thought this could be the Bills' time because they're hot. We've seen time and time again teams that get hot and get into the playoffs. We've seen them go on runs. But in this case, they got hot at the end of last year. They flamed out in the playoffs. They lost a lot of players on defense in the offseason. Then you see Stephon Diggs go to Houston. So Josh Allen doesn't even have really any weapons. They haven't had a run game since Josh Allen has been there. I don't trust that defensive-minded coach. I think the Bills take a step back. I understand the odds for the Jets, but I believe it's all hype. I think the defense is Super Bowl ready. I think the run game is Super Bowl ready. I think the offensive line is one of the worst in the league. I think Aaron Rodgers is old and on shrooms. I do not believe in the New York Jets at all. Give me the Miami Dolphins to run through this division. They could be fighting for the number 1 seed in the AFC. I truly believe that. I'll take the Dolphins at 2-1 to win the East.
I got it.
Hey, I like it. Ronald Neal said he agreed, as well as our guy Bruce Glass. They both said they agreed. Let's go to the AFC North. Hey, this is the toughest division right here in football. It's just my opinion right here. And wouldn't you know, they're all on the Commander's schedule this year. You got the Ravens at plus 140, the Bengals at plus 150, the Browns at plus 550, and the Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 750. All right, Travis, which way should we go here?
I mean, I lost a lot of money with the Bengals last year. I had them winning the division. I had them in the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, and we all know what happened. So you're pretty much, anytime you bet on the Bengals, you're betting on Joe Burrow's health.
Yeah.
And I certainly am not a doctor. I just play one on the First String podcast. So
That's it. Here we go.
I refuse to waste my money again this year. I would probably advise, because I did not bet this division because of what happened to me last season, I would advise taking the Ravens. I really would. I don't trust Joe Burrow's health at this point.
Right.
You can't trust, freaky deaky 69 God, Deshaun. You can't trust whoever's playing quarterback for the Steelers, whoever. I got you in that one pick. So, I'd just rather bet on the Ravens. I would not, at this point, I would not bet on the Ravens when we get to the playoffs, but certainly in the regular season, I would just bet on the Ravens. I would argue that's a really good price. I mean, you're getting the Ravens. I think it was plus 140 you showed their pick.
Yeah.
That's a pretty damn good price for a team. All they do is win regular season games.
That's all they do is win. That's all they do is win.
Right.
Baltimore Ravens is what Ron O'Neal says. Ron O'Neal says the Ravens will win it all. Bruce says leave this division alone.
Sure.
And then Droop says this is a tough division to pick. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why we have our guy Travis on here to tell you which way to go and to just give you that advice. That little, when you step up to the box, it'll be Travis on one side, he's the good guy, and it'll be me on the other side. I'm telling you, bet it all.
No, don't listen to that. Don't listen.
All right. So we're flying through these divisions right now. Let's have a little fun real quick. This division that we're about to talk about next, we're staying on the AFC side right here. I'm really going to say that this division is up for grabs. I mean, if anybody can go from worst to first, it's somebody in this division right here. And you're going to see what I mean here in a second. As soon as I talk, the AFC South. Of course, you do have CJ Stroud in Houston, Texas, who did an amazing job last year. But this is the same division where you got Trevor Lawrence, you got Anthony Richardson, if he can decide not to try to run through brick walls, and then you have the mayo-eating guy in Tennessee, but one of our guys from PG, Julius Chestnut, plays for the Titans, so we'll root for Julius to have a great year, except for that one game when they play the Washington Commanders. The Texans are at plus 105, Jaguars at 275, plus 275, Indianapolis at plus 325, and the Tennessee Titans at plus 900. All right, Lady A, advise us. No, Travis, come on.
No, I want to hear Lady A. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to kind of go back a little bit. I agree with pretty much everything you said thus far, especially not believing the hype on the Bills. I think this particular division, just like the last that we discussed, it's so close. If you look at the line for the first team down to the last team, it's much closer than other divisions. This is probably one you want to leave alone as well. However, it's just not a lot of space in between each team. And that's where my concern would be. I do think that the Texans probably have a little bit of advantage, which is why they're up there the way that they are. But, it could be Trevor Lawrence, with his luxurious locks, with his herbal essence commercial up at the top. You never know with them. And truthfully, I think, sorry, Julius, but I do think the Titans probably will be at the back of the line. I mean, they lost Derrick Henry. That's crucial for that team because that is what kept them, up here. So I think that the line actually may be a little accurate with this one, but it is very close. So
yeah, I mean, as always, Lady A is a genius. I think you can make a case really for any team in this division except the Titans. Although, Pick, I know you'll bring it up. I would look hard at the Titans win total, and I would consider going over depending where it is, because they brought in a ton of offensive pieces. Yeah. Calvin Ridley. Look, we don't know if Will Levis can play or not. However, they have an offensive coach now. Remember, Mike Vrabel's gone. They brought in offensive pieces from Tony Pollard to Calvin Ridley. They fixed that offensive line. So, maybe Vrabel did not leave the cupboards bare in terms of defense. If they can just be average at best there and then improve offensively, the Titans could be a sleeper team in terms of betting the win total. I would not touch them in terms of the division. My
Right.
favorite bet, and I did bet this with my own money, is the Colts at 3-1. And here's why. For a couple of reasons. I know Anthony Richardson got hurt last season, but
he was a monster.
Exactly. In that small sample size that we got, boy, did he look like the second coming of Cam Newton. I mean that as a compliment, but he's got to figure out, how to not have the ending be what Cam Newton did. Cam Newton took so many hits, he didn't play as long as we wanted him to.
Right.
So Anthony Richardson's going to have to, over time, figure out a way to protect his body. But in the short term, I do believe he'll be healthy. And remember this, Jonathan Taylor, the star running back, held out contract last season, did not get to the team until they were in season, did not get a contract signed until damn near week 1. So he missed 4 or 5 weeks. Then it took him a little bit of time to kind of get his footing. Then he was Jonathan Taylor again. Now with an entire offseason, the Colts always have a great offensive line. The Colts defense is underrated. They have solid receivers. They're well coached. I believe the Colts, who, by the way, with Gardner Minshew last season, almost made the wild card. I think the Colts now, with a full offseason, a healthy young quarterback, everything working for them, everyone talking about the Texans and the Jaguars, I think the Colts steal that division. It's one of my favorite bets.
All right. So you talked about regular seasons right here. Regular season wins for the Titans is 6.5 at plus 115. Regular season wins for the Colts is at plus 8.5. Their over is at plus 8.5. It's even. It's even money right now. Their under is minus 120. Okay. I like that right there, Travis. I really do like that pick, but I'm going to go with the Jaguars, and I don't know why. There's no logical reason to go with the Jaguars to win this division, absolutely none. But if Trevor Lawrence is ever going to step up and claim his spot as one of the top quarterbacks, he has to win his division first.
It's the hair.
I mean,
that's what it is. That's why I picked going up.
He's getting paid like a top flight quarterback. Now it's time that you act like one and go out here and get your team some wins. All right, where are we? Let's
west.
Go. We're going west. Yeah. We know who the winner of this division is going to be. I'm just going to pull up the over-under on their wins right now. Okay, so you got the Chiefs at minus 275. You got the Chargers at plus 400. You got the Raiders at plus 1,000, and then the Broncos at plus 1,800. There's no stopping the Chiefs in this division. The only hope is that Patrick Mahomes winds up hurt. So I'm going to take this graphic down. Y'all can talk about it right fast while I pull up the over-under numbers for this division.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how you feel, Lady A, but I did not bet this division because you're obviously with those odds, you're not going to make any money betting on the Chiefs to win it. I would say this, though. Even though I like to tell people the ones I bet and the ones I stay away from, even though I'm staying away from it. If someone on this podcast wants to bet on this division, I don't think the Chargers at 4-1 is the worst bet you could make. Here's why. 2 reasons. Jim Harbaugh wins immediately everywhere he goes. College, NFL, doesn't matter. It takes him 5 seconds to start winning games in this league, okay? Let's remember how talented the Chargers are. They just had an idiot-face idiot as a coach forever. Now they get a real coach in there. I don't hate the Chargers at that price at 4-1. Here's the other reason. Listen to this schedule out of the gate for the Chargers. This is key.
They got the Harbaugh brothers back to back.
Well, out of the gate, it's easy. You get the Raiders. The Raiders are a ways off. We know that. They don't have a quarterback. I like their team. I like Antonio Pierce, but they literally don't have a quarterback. Like, what are they doing? So that should be a win. Then Harbaugh and company goes to Carolina. We know how that's going to end. Then they go to Pittsburgh. Nothing against Mike Tomlin. We know the Steelers' defense is tough, but do either one of you trust Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields? The answer is
not
no.
right now.
Then, so that's should be 3-0, maybe 2-1. Then you get Mahomes, but you get him at home. Then they get an early bye week. I could see going into that bye week a 3-1 for the Chargers. If you could beat Mahomes at home, good win for Harbaugh early. You could be 4-0 going into the bye week. So I just think, remember this too with the Chiefs. They don't give a damn about winning
the
regular
division.
Season. Yeah, like they want to win the division, but if they go in as a wild card, they ain't tripping off that. They'll go on the road and beat your ass. They don't care. So there could be some motivation there for the Chargers, a team that always starts hot and then chokes down the stretch. Maybe Harbaugh says, no, we're going to start hot and keep it going. So I don't think Chargers at 4-1 is the worst bet I ever heard, but it's a stay away from me, Lady A, because I want no parts of betting against Mahomes again in my life. I've lost enough money.
Well, right. I'm with you, though. Like, I mean, there's no doubt about it that Kansas City owns this division. It's like there's one team in the division at this point.
Right.
And I think that particular line shows it. There's nothing else to say. Like, what do you do? What do you do?
Let me give you some totals here. So the Chargers are 8-5. They're okay, here we go. The Chargers are minus 150 on the over at 8-5, and their under of 8.5 wins is at plus 130. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Picking this division is terrible. So this is one where you would really just go to their total wins, right? And play them by the week. And if you happen to catch KC as an underdog, you better hop on it quickly. But check the injury list before you hop on it. Right. Because if you don't, and Patrick Mahomes is not playing, there's a reason why they're plus money at that point in time. So that's what we say about taking that about the weekly bets with the Kansas City Chiefs, because it is going to, you got to pick your poison. You got to pick your poison. And we know the Raiders will slide in there for a victory every now and again. The Raiders are the ones who start off with the Harbaugh brothers back-to-back weeks, week 1 and 2. And that is for sure. Pierce is going to have his hands full. Is it NFC East time? It's NFC East time, right?
Yeah, maybe. Let's do it.
Before we go to the East, let me ask this question, Travis. You had your first look at your rookie quarterback. What did you think?
For Drake May or
Drake
for
May.
Your boy? Yeah,
nope.
Drake. I mean, listen, Drake May didn't play much. I mean, it was strange. It was like they gave the start to Jacoby Brissett. I know Commanders fans know him well. But my thing is this: like, we've seen the Jacoby Brissett movie time and time again with different teams. Yeah. The movie sucks. Like, I want to see a different movie. So, he gets the start. Drake May comes in. They only play him a couple series. It's check down Charlie, and then they get him out of the game. And then they play Bailey Zappi most of the game. It's like I saw that movie too last season. It sucked with Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And then we got to look at the kid Joe Milton out of Tennessee. But the problem was he looked fantastic. By the way, he looked like Lamar Jackson out there. The problem was he was playing with guys that are going to be bagging groceries next week. You know what I mean? So you didn't even though he looked great, it's like I want to see him run with the ones or at least the twos.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's so many questions here in New England in terms of quarterback, the rookie head coach, Gerard Mayo. They got a rookie offensive coordinator in Alex Van Pelt. Everybody's new. Belichick is gone. Brady's gone. So it's a new era. So Drake May, it's too soon for me. Check back at the end of the preseason. Maybe I can give you a fair assessment. But so far, I wouldn't give him a bad grade. I would just give him an incomplete because I haven't seen enough.
Right, of course, and then you'll have your joint practices coming up and things of that nature where it'll give you a little bit more to go on. I got you. I just wanted to ask that quick question before we switch over to the NFC. All right, now it's time to go to my favorite division of all, our division. We got the NFC East. We got the Philadelphia Eagles checking in at minus 130 to win the division, followed by the Dallas Cowboys at plus 160. We know what they do. They'll put 12 wins on you and check out of the playoffs the following week. The Washington Commanders are at plus 1,100, followed by the New York Giants at plus 1,600. Travis, which way you going?
I don't really understand that price on the Commanders. I probably would not bet them to win the division. And you see the price. I mean, 11-1 says it all. But I don't really understand that. I actually think that's a disrespectful price. You know, I understand on paper why the Eagles are favorite. And you said it about the Cowboys pick. I mean, you're not lying. Like, you know they're going to give you regular season wins and then bow out. But they got a lot of issues right now, too. You know, they're not paying CeeDee Lamb. Things just aren't quite the same there in Dallas. I think Jerry Jones is not losing his marbles. I think the marbles are lost. I think Jara need to go sit his old ass down somewhere and let his son run that. Right. So, you know, I just think like things are not really going well in Dallas. You know that coach is going to be fired if they get off to a slow start. I don't even think Mike McCarthy will finish the season if Dallas gets off to a slow start. So I just don't really understand the Commanders' price. As good as the Eagles are on paper, I saw Jalen Hurts pouting, crying, moaning, moping around like a little baby last season. And I'm like, bro, where's all the like heartfelt pump up speeches we were used to, and all the, you know, squatting 600 pounds and you're this and you're that. Where's all that at? I saw a guy who was broken mentally. That shocked me and it worried me. So I don't know if I trust the Eagles. All I'm saying is I didn't bet this division, but I would look at the Commanders' win total. I would take the over. And if I was drunk enough, I would take the Commanders at 11-1 because they got everything going right now. They got a young rookie QB who's an absolute stud. They got weapons for him. The defense has always been solid. I mean, we'll see if Dan Quinn can learn from his past mistakes as a head coach and be a better one this time around. They have some momentum with ownership. Fans are always great. I think the Commanders are a sleeper, but I would look at them for a win total and maybe a wild card. I don't know if I play this division.
6.5 is the win total for the Commanders. The 6.5 is at plus 140. I've already put that down. I think I put it down before right after the draft. I think I booked that one right after the draft. I think I got 170, something like that.
Great.
So I stocked that one away real quick. As far as them making the playoffs, I'll pull that up and find that one a little bit later.
I'll say this. You know, I got to say something now. Now, Travis, I'll tell you what happened with the Eagles last year. If you look at the season before and you look at the Super Bowl, that's what happened. That's what broke Jalen. He was trying to carry the entire team on his back to win that Super Bowl, and it didn't work. The team, in turn, went and got all of Georgia, right? They went down to Georgia. They took everyone. They had the cheat code, and they still didn't do anything with it. I was frustrated for him. I don't want the Eagles to necessarily succeed too much, of course. Shout out to John. But I think that's what it was. So I understand he was frustrated. And then the Super Bowl, that's what broke him. So correct. I don't necessarily put trust into Philly because they had so much and they did so little with it. And I agree the Commanders is a sleeper team. Not just because I'm a fan, but mainly because everybody's new. They cleaned house. Everything is new. And when you have these newer teams, you can't really say that they're going to do that bad. You can only say give them a little credit. They do have some really good pieces in play. With that said, they can be the sleeper team. I think that the NFC East typically does go in the order that they had it. So that's why we see that particular line. And usually with the NFC East, if anything changes, it's just like one team here, one team there. It's like a little quick switch. It's nothing major. So we may see some things. I think the bottom is usually the bottom. No shade, but the bottom is usually the bottom. No shade to New York.
Well, this is losing both coordinators does hurt you. It does hurt you, and that head coach is trying to take the blame, and they're doing pretty much everything to keep him in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
right.
I just saw the craziest play from the Kansas City Chiefs Jaguars game. Let me explain this, folks. Wide receiver, wide open, running down the field. The quarterback throws the ball. He jumps up. He grabs it. He falls down. He gets up. The defensive back strips the ball out of his hand, runs in for a touchdown.
I mean, that's football.
That's football. Lady A said it the best. Hey, Pick, by the way, I found this. Listen to this, man. You might want to bet this too. So you took the win total over. Was it 6.5? I love that.
Yes.
The Commanders to make the playoffs. So again, you don't have to win the division here. In a wide open NFC, is it crazy to think the Commanders, if you're thinking they're going to win over 6.5 games, is it crazy to think that they could not go, 9-8 and grab a wild card spot? I don't think it's crazy at all.
It's in the possibilities.
The Commanders to get into the playoffs is plus 260.
I found them plus 290.
Yeah, I mean, shop around, find the best odds, like Pick just said. I don't ever say what book I'm on because I'm not getting a check. But where I shop, they're plus 260. Where Pick is shopping, they're plus 290. So look around. You always want to get the best odds. Get the best price you can. Maybe you can get a 3-1. Get the best price you can. But Commanders to make the playoffs is not a bad bet at all.
Not at all. Plus 290. You know, I had that one up. I told you I was going to find it. Plus 290. Matter of fact, as soon as we get off of here handling business, I'm going to handle some more business.
It's not a bad bet.
That's not a bad one. Not at all. We're socking money away so we can make it pay off later. Let's talk about the NFC North. All right. We got the Lions, which is a crazy price right now at plus 140. The Packers are at plus 200. And the Bears are at plus 300 with their totally revamped offense and everything else. And the Vikings are at plus 900 here. This is going to be a crazy division as well. Travis, who do you like?
All right, listen. I didn't play the division here. I made 2 bets. I took the Bears to make the playoffs, and then I have the Lions to win the Super Bowl at 12-1. So I'm not messing around with the division here, but I believe the Lions win the Super Bowl, and here's why. First of all, they should have been in the Super Bowl last year. The problem is their coach, who lives on the edge, who's an intense guy, I don't really want him to change, but I want him to learn. You have to evolve or die. That's all of us. You have to evolve in life. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what you do. So even though this guy is balls to the wall and everyone loves him for it, they had the 49ers in the NFC title game dead to rights. The Lions should have been playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl if their coach just kicks field goals.
Yep.
What are they doing? So that team is back. They're exactly the same. They added in the offseason, not lost in the offseason like so many teams. I believe the Niners take a little bit of a step back because they've been knocking on that Super Bowl door for how long, and they ain't won shack. So I think it's the Lions' time now. I'll take the Lions to go to and win the Super Bowl. I did not bet this division. I don't think the Packers is the worst bet I've ever heard either to win the division. You got to think about Jordan Love and all those guys. But like I said, I'm going to just let my futures ride. I got a good price on the Bears as well, plus money to make the playoffs. You know what I think of Caleb Williams' pick. So for this division, I would go Lions or Packers. I wouldn't overthink it, although I like the Bears to get in the postseason.
Hey, that's right out of Lady A's playbook right there. He says the Lions are the Lions. I don't see it. Listen, everywhere else that I've checked, the Lions are minus money. Where I'm telling you guys right now, where I am shopping, and you guys got to shop around, they're plus 140. Everybody in this division is plus money. The Packers at plus 200, also not a bad pick as well. And if you believe in the Bears, then you got plus 300 there. So just trust me, shop around. Just don't go to your bargain basement store and spend your money. Shop around.
I will say, I feel like the Bears, it's kind of unfair. Like it's so much uncertainty in this particular division as far as the placement. It's a possibility that the Lions could win the division. I don't think that they would do anything with it. So I'm sorry, Travis. I am completely against them. I feel like, yes, last year they had an opportunity to get into the Super Bowl, but they blew it. And typically the Lions blow it. That's kind of
That's what
what
Ron
happened
O'Neill said.
last
That's what he
year
said. Yeah.
is traditionally what happens with the Lions. So even if they make it to the same point that they make it to, this upcoming season, who's to say they're not going to blow it again? And I just don't ever have faith in the Lions. And historically, that I have no reason to really have faith in them. So that's just me. That's why he said, that's straight out of Lady A's book, because I feel like the Lions are Lions. They will blow it.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm with the Packers on this one right here.
Okay, I understand.
I really liked how Jordan Love played last year. I liked how their offense was coming about last year. Don't forget that head coach uh, is a genius when it comes to some things. They had their defense playing well last year. They pushed San Fran to the envelope as well. They should have beat them, and then Detroit came in and really should have beat San Fran last year.
Yeah.
So I do like the Packers to win this division, but I think I'm a double dip here. I think I am going to go get that 140 for Detroit because, like I said, at other places I've seen it, I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
they've always been negative money. And then please follow my man, on my Brown here. He says like and subscribe. Like we said, do it. Like and subscribe. It's free, people. It's free. All right, let's move on to the NFC South. That's where we're going next, right? NFC South. Yes.
This division sucks.
This is Stead's division, and this is the funny part about this. Is, I know right here everybody's thinking Baker did a heck of a job last year, and you got them not winning the division. What's going on? Everybody else in the division got better. Everybody else in the division got better. And why is the Falcons the favorite? Because it's simply one thing. They have a solid quarterback in Kirk Cousins who's going to check it down. He's going to fill it up with stats. That's why the Falcons are in this top position. The Falcons are at minus 120. The Baker and the Buccaneers are at plus 300. The Saints is plus 360. And the Panthers are, oh my God, 1,100. So, Travis, what do you got?
This division sucks. Listen, I'm taking the Bucs 3-1. I'm not betting this in real life. I'm just telling you how I feel. I will never, ever bet on Kirk Cousins to do anything, ever.
Except for go to the bank. That's the only thing I'm betting on Kirk Cousins to do. Go to the bank.
Yeah.
Go to the bank and get paper cuts from counting his money. That's it. I don't trust the Falcons. I don't trust Kirk. I don't trust any of the teams in this goddamn division, including the Bucs. But at 3-1, Baker played well. The Bucs were smart, re-signing him, bringing him back. I believe in them. They pretty much have the same team. I'm going to go Bucs 3-1 if I'm advising. But I would also, as your friend, on anyone watching and listening to the First String podcast, I would tell you, don't bet this. You don't have to bet everything.
No,
this
you don't.
This division sucks. Stay away.
Right. This is what Kirk Cousins does, Lady A. This is what Kirk Cousins does.
That's it. That's all.
That's all he does.
That's all he does. I mean, I feel bad because Kirk, he's a very misleading quarterback. He will go in and he will hype you up. You like that? And we don't, sir. We didn't get to where we needed to get to. So I feel like, you can't. He's not Mr. Reliable. The only thing that's reliable is the fact that Kirk is going to collect his check. That's it. So I would stay away from it as well.
Ron O'Neill said, I think I showed it. He said, the Buccaneers, I don't trust Kirk.
Yeah.
And then Cousin over here, he's chiming in. He says he likes the Saints. He says their defense is definitely going to make some noise.
They still got to score, though.
Look at these over-unders for these divisions. Make sure you check these over-unders for the divisions and then play them by the week. And depending on, don't forget to check the injury sheets to find out who's playing, who's not playing. And that's how you play this division right here. But I am totally with you right here. This is one of those that you're going to throw up in the air.
I couldn't disagree more with the Saints, by the way. I lost a lot of money on them last season. because I thought the same thing that comment did. I thought the defense was there. I was someone who defended Derek Carr for years. And then I watched that mess last season, and I said, I'll never bet on Derek Carr, that stupid coach they have that should have been fired. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. I don't trust the Saints. Listen, I'll be honest. Just don't bet this division at all. Just stay away. Listen, if you want to go week to week, you like a matchup, Falcons match up with someone, Saints match up with someone, Buccaneers, you can get them all at plus money because they all suck anyways. Take your pick your spots. But betting this division winner and win totals, you're just pissing into the wind as far as I'm concerned with you.
There we go. That's why we got Travis on, because he's going to tell you like it TI is. All right. Last division here, we got the West, the NFC West. We got the 49ers at minus 200. The Rams are at plus 350. Yeah. The Seattle Seahawks are at plus 750. And then the Cardinals are at plus 1,300. Yeah.
I mean, look, obviously, I think everyone's going to say the same thing here, right? That it's the Niners division. This is what I would say, because I do think the Niners will take a step back this year. I don't necessarily think that it's a division title that they lose, but I would not be shocked at all, and I will be betting against them when we get to the playoffs. I just don't think they're getting back to the Super Bowl at all. They could lose, depending the divisional round, conference championship. I will be betting against the Niners when the chips are on the table. As far as the division, I'm not interested in making any bets because, again, you're not going to make any money if the Niners win it with that price you just saw. And I'm not really willing to put my hard-earned money down on anyone else in that division. Here's a bet I made in the division. It's a couple of them. I like the Rams to make the postseason. If the Rams make the playoffs, I got it at even money. You can find it at plus money. Shop around. Mm-hmm. We all know what it's about. If Matthew Stafford can stay upright, this is a team that will make the playoffs, coached by Sean McVay. They're a veteran team. Yes, they lost Aaron Donald, but they were smart. Yeah. They drafted on the defensive side of the ball. I think the Rams will be just fine. It's all predicated on Matthew Stafford staying healthy. With Kupp and Nakua, those receivers are going to be just fine. So I like the Rams to get in the postseason. Here's another one. Go over on the win total for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. I do believe in the Cardinals. They had the most draft picks in the draft out of every team, and they nailed it. We know Marvin Harrison Jr. is a stud, but go back and look at their draft. Yeah. They nailed it. Kyler Murray last season didn't play early in the year. He's back. He has a full off season. Kyler Murray's not a leader, but he is an excellent quarterback as far as putting up numbers and making the offense move. He matriculates the ball beautifully down the field for the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are a sleeper. I like over on their win total. I think the Seahawks are also a sleeper. This division is tougher than people think. I'm not going to bet a division winner. I like the Rams to make the postseason. I like the Cardinals over on win total, and you could talk me into the Seahawks over on win total as well.
Okay, so I asked Bruce to give it to us because last year Bruce Glass gave us the Houston Texans, right? He said and he told us the Houston Texans are going to win the division. This comment's been sitting up here for a while. I know you guys are like, this guy is crazy. Listen, Bruce did this to us last year, and we on this show said, Bruce, we don't know, but we're going to start drug testing before people put comments into the podcast. And Bruce was right. He was absolutely right. So I put up there. Bruce has called his shot. He says the Cardinals will win the West.
All right, Bruce. We hear you.
I'm crazy, but watch and see. This is what Bruce Glass said, okay? You did it once. Once could be luck. Twice, you could be onto something, Bruce. I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying twice, you could be onto something. Cuzzo says, bang, bang, the Niners win. The rest of the division is restarting. True to a point, but And then Brandon Ayuk still being there and opposing the trade, it is what it is. It is what it is, okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Since we just talked about the NFC, let's talk about who wins the NFC as champs. So top 6 answers are on the board. Top 5 answers are on the board here. I can give you anybody else's odds that you think of. Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready right now. So we got the San Francisco 49ers to win at plus 260, the Detroit Lions at plus 550, the Philadelphia Eagles at plus 550, the Green Bay Packers at plus 800. I like that. And the Dallas Cowboys at plus 850. Travis, who do you think wins the NFC?
I like the Lions for everything I talked about earlier. I think they have all the tools. They've been to the spot now. They've seen what it's like to get there and blow it on their own accord. It's not anything the Niners did. It's the Lions lost that game. So I think they can learn from that. So I like the Lions to win the NFC. But I say all that to say I'm staring at that Packers at 8-1, man. I mean, my God, 8-1 for a team that, I mean, beat the hell out of the Cowboys in the playoffs. Jordan Love became one of the best quarterbacks in the league seemingly overnight. It's unbelievable. So
his second half of the season is ridiculous.
Yeah, I have a little trepidation with that. It's another, it's one of the reasons I'm not so high on the Texans either. Sometimes these quarterbacks that are young get hot, finish a season, and they come in the next season, they don't look like the same guy. See Jalen Hurts, right? So these things happen. Sometimes teams get tape on you. Sometimes the hype goes to your head. Sometimes it's both. So I want to wait and see. But that's why I'd rather bet on a Jared Goff, a veteran, right? But I'll tell you this. I mean, just looking at that pick, bring that back. Bring that graphic back. Looking at that price on the Packers. I mean, I am too greedy. I am too much of a degenerate bastard to not sprinkle a little something. I already have a bet on the Lions for the Super Bowl. So one of the ways I could hedge my bet is just to put a little fairy dust, just a little something.
A little something
on the Packers to win the NFC at 8-1, because that's probably, other than the Niners, the only team I would bet on to get it done.
Okay.
Lady A, out of that graphic, or whatever team could pop into your head right now, who you got coming out of the NFC?
I mean, truthfully, I'm scared to say right now. Like, I wouldn't. It's so much going on in the NFC this season that I don't think that the top spot is really the top spot.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
So I would stay away from that, but can you put the graphic back up again? Yeah, I mean, because the 49ers could do it, but they've been known to blow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I think this is going to be
it's
one
like
of those
it's
years.
so much uncertainty.
I think it's going to be one of those years.
Two,
I know. So. I think this is going to be one of those years where the top seed doesn't do what they're supposed to do. So, like I told you guys, the Packers, that was my choice right there. I already had something on Detroit right now, so I'm not going to put all of my eggs in the same basket. I like the Packers.
It's up for grabs.
AFC side now. Let's go.
Ooh.
This is where you get your Kansas City. This is where you get your Kansas City Chiefs money right here. For them to actually represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs are plus 325. The Baltimore Ravens are at plus 500. We already talked about them winning the division. The Cincinnati Bengals at plus 700. Travis told you guys that's like betting on Joe Burrow by itself. The Bills are taking a step back. The Houston Texans are at plus 750 along with the Bills. Travis, if there's a team that you need, I'm ready. Tell me who you got now. Give you the odds.
Yeah, I'm not betting this, but listen, I mean, getting the Chiefs at plus 325 is a great price.
That's good.
And, I mean, it just is what it is. This is a team you didn't think they could repeat, and they did. Everyone says, well, no team's ever three-peated. They're not going to do it. And if they did it, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not betting on it, but I wouldn't be shocked at all. And, you look at that price right there. The Chiefs with plus money next to them for anything. How could you not bet it?
You got to take it.
You got to take it. The only other team on that graphic you showed pick I would consider would be the Bengals. And here's why. Joe Burrow's the only quarterback to stand toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, heavyweight style, in the center of the ring and throw punches and win. He's the only one. Not Lamar, not Stroud, not Tua. None of them. I don't care who you name. Herbert, it doesn't matter. You can go through the whole goddamn AFC. Trevor Lawrence and his luscious locks don't mean jack shnikes. The only guy who has done it, not Josh Allen, is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has to be upright to beat Patrick Mahomes. So you could talk me into that 7-1 for the Bengals, but I bet that last year and Burrow got hurt. So I'm not touching it. I'll be honest.
All right.
If I was betting this now, it would only be the Chiefs or the Bengals, and using my brain and not my heart, it would probably be the Chiefs again.
Yeah.
Well, you what is that saying? To beat a man, you got to beat the man. Well, at some point in time, you have to do it. If Ron O'Neal saying Ravens all day, Cuzzo down here saying I put my money on Miami. Let me give you Miami's price plus 1,200 to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Because if they don't win their division, they have to travel to cold weather cities.
Right.
Yeah.
They have to travel to cold weather cities, and they're not so great when they travel to cold weather cities.
Not at all.
So that's them.
Pick, I would add to that. I mean, I think it's deeper than that. If you truly believe in the Dolphins, I would give you a better bet. I would not trust them to win the AFC, even if you believe in them. A great bet for the Dolphins is one that I made. This is why I can speak to this. I think the Dolphins, kind of like the Ravens, have a lot of regular season feel to them.
Success. Yeah, they do.
With that, that system they run and Tua and all that. And as you said, once you get to the postseason, unless they have home field throughout, you don't trust them on the road. I made a bet for the Dolphins to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. I got it at 10-1. And I just I felt more comfortable making that bet than for them, even though I have them at 2-1 to win the division. Obviously, if they're the number 1 seed, they're going to win the division. So that's a dub. And 2-1 is not as great as 10-1, So I would rather trust the Dolphins to just run through the regular season, maybe be the number 1 seed. I cash a 10-1, and then I don't really give a rat's ass what happens in the playoffs because you can't trust them anyway. So that's what I would advise. I would say, look, if you do believe in the Dolphins, don't take them to win the AFC or the Super Bowl or anything like that. Can you really see Tua, going on a road and taking out a Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Lamar? Not no, but hell no. So I would rather take him in the regular season, to put up great numbers. Tyreek Hill to be Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins to be the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle doing his little dance. I like them at 10-1 to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's a bet you can make.
And they got OBJ. They have OBJ now. So what I would do is pick their running back to score a lot of touchdowns this year. That's what I would do as well. Yeah. And I don't even think they have the same. I don't think they have Mostert. Not sure if he's back there or not.
It's Achane.
It's Achane. That's right. It's Achane. All right. Well, we've worked our way all the way to AFC Championship, NFC Championship. Now it's Super Bowl time. See what we got here. We have the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl at plus 500, San Francisco at plus 600, the Baltimore Ravens at plus 1,000, the Detroit Lions at plus 1,000, Buffalo plus 1,600, and Houston's at plus 1,600. Top 6 on the board, but I'm ready for whatever team you guys spit out there. I will give you the odds.
Lady A, go first. Ladies first.
I'm just curious. What is the Commanders' odds?
I can't even say that number. It's illegal, but it's plus 15,000.
Wow. If you bet that and you truly believe in your team, I just feel like everyone's plus whatever, because at this point you really don't know. That number is just going to keep dropping as you go along through the season. So I do feel like if you have a prediction, go for it, whatever the team is. But obviously we just got to the preseason.
We did.
Whoever you choose is a plus. So literally, not just as far as the money, but literally.
Yeah, right now, because it's a crapshoot. It's literally a dart up against a board right now, because we still don't know about injuries. We still don't know if someone's going to get traded. We still don't know if someone's coach is going to get fired. We don't know those things.
Right.
Bruce and then on top of that, think the Super Bowl winners
we've
on
had
the
moments.
list.
He said it's not on the list, but I do feel like we don't know because like that year that Tua got hurt, like we didn't predict that. We didn't predict that. We thought a lot of people thought that Tua was just gonna take them all the way. And he was destroying people. Like the season where he was like scoring 70 on people and embarrassing everyone. You never know when it comes to the Super Bowl. So I mean, ride with your team.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, ride with your team.
I'm going with the Lions. I got him at 12-1. I believe on your graphic it was 10-1. So shop
10-1.
around, try to So try to find the best price for any of these teams. But I'm just going to Lions again. I can't. I'm still in shock that they lost the NFC title game and a team that young. It's and a team that's still together. I think it could be a learning experience. If they were a veteran, older team, I know Jared Goff is older, but for the most part, that's a young team.
Yeah.
So if they were some old dogs like the Niners, it's one of the reasons I'm not as high on the Niners now is because once you climb that mountain, especially as many times as the 49ers had, and you're an older team, it just gets harder. I mean, all of us that are getting older, you get out of bed now, it's aches and pains in places you're like, what in the hell why is this hurting today? That's what it's like for veteran teams. That's why I like the Lions. The Lions are young. They can learn from this. Their coach can learn from this. Jared Goff is a veteran who's been there before. He's been to a Super Bowl. I just think the Lions get back. I like them at that price, 10, 12, wherever you shop. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions to not just make it to the Super Bowl, but to win it.
All right. So the graphics department's done an outstanding job today.
Really?
Like didn't see too many mistakes. This is probably, it's preseason, graphic department gets going in the regular season, makes all kind of mistakes. They be drinking on the job. But they've done a great job. But I have an update. I said top 6 was on the board, right? And as I look at this,
it's
graphic,
changed.
It has changed. All right. So we have the Philadelphia Eagles coming in right behind the Lions at 11-1. Which is $1,100. Then we have the Cincinnati Bengals after that at 13-1. And then the Buffalo Bills at 16, and then the Houston Texans at 16 as well. So how do you feel about the Eagles or the Bengals?
Yeah, I don't trust. Listen, I don't trust the Eagles. I talked about Jalen Hurts earlier.
Yeah,
but that's not to let Nick Sirianni off the hook. I don't trust. I think I trust Jalen Hurts more than I do him. So, with Nick Sirianni as a head coach, I'm out on the Eagles. I'm just not buying the hype.
I'll give you one thing. Yeah, I'll give you one thing that'll make me ride with the Eagles. If they can keep Saquon Barkley healthy through the first half of the season, and then once the calendar hits December, that you let him loose. Once that calendar hits December, you let him loose for 2 months. I would roll with him then.
That's fair.
But other than that, I can't.
I get it. I think out of those teams you added, again, I just caution everybody because I lost a lot of money last year. It's hard not to roll with Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I mean, like, everything's there. Everything is there for them. We just saw them in the Super Bowl not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's just Joe Burrow's health.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad bet, but you're just rolling the dice like you are with any bet. But specifically with that team, it's all on Joe Burrow. It's all on him. It's on Joe Cool. If he could stay upright and stay healthy, it's. I mean, he has beat Mahomes before. He has proven he can do it. He's the only one in that entire conference that has proven he can do it. If Joe Burrow can get back to a Super Bowl, I think he could win it.
Okay.
Oh, well. There we go. Travis, it's been a pleasure. I cannot let you out of here without this. I have to ask you the question of the month. And this can be off the top of your head because I forgot to send it to you. So that's why I didn't ask the question earlier, Don.
Great.
So we got questions that need to be answered real fast. Hold on, let me get this queued up. Here we go. Questions that need to be answered. Okay, we need your top 5 Olympic moments of all time.
Top 5? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about 5. I'll just go top of my head here. I remember just growing up. My mom used to like FloJo and Gail Devers, and
She was on mine. Yep.
I just remember watching like track and field mainly as a kid. Michael Johnson with the gold shoes.
Yeah.
Yep, that was on mine too.
And then obviously through Usain Bolt. In my career, I was really blessed and fortunate enough, being in that DMV area. I got to cover Michael Phelps and Katie Ledecky both, and going to their meets and going to their trainings and doing stories and sit down interviews with both of them was incredible for me. All the Dream Team. Obviously, I'm a kid of the '90s. Watching the Dream Team beat the hell out of every other team around the world was great. Yeah. I don't know if that was 5, but I'm just giving you.
You gave it to us. You answered the question. You understood the assignment. Listen, everyone's glad to see you. It's been great getting you back on. Man, it's been so good. Travis, we all love you. We all do follow you. If you guys don't follow Travis Thomas on social media, Travis Thomas Experience, you're missing a treat. He's just a fun, as Ant would say, a ball of energy. He's just a ball of energy. So yeah, Travis, man, we appreciate you. Good luck up there. Did you get a big coat? Let me ask you that. Did you get a big coat?
Yeah, it's funny. Since I got here, I think it's me, because since I got here, it's been warmer than Boston has ever been.
Right.
They've not got a big snowstorm. Knock on wood that stays the case. We get a couple inches here and there, but nothing crazy. It's almost like snow in the DMV. It's all right. Good. And then, by the way, since I've been here, the Celtics won the championship. So I just want to take credit for the better weather and yet another championship for Boston. You're welcome, Boston.
They needed a little DMV up there.
They did.
Exactly.
Well, Trav, if I'm ever in the Boston area, I'll let you know. Get crab cakes on you. No, not crab. Lobster rolls. Lobster rolls on you. Thank you, Travis. Say hello to the family. We appreciate it.
Yes,
man. Appreciate y'all. See you, Lady A.
All right. See you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was the Travis Thomas Experience. As you guys see, Travis is indeed a ball of energy. That's our guy. We reach out to Travis whenever we get close to this time of year. Lady A, we got some things to talk about, don't we?
We do. Not a whole lot, but we got a little bit of stuff we need to address.
All right. First off, top of the agenda, the Washington Commanders had their first preseason game today. And we had Jayden Daniels debut. This didn't get cut off, and we didn't see just the good highlights for the New York Jets. We saw good things for both teams, good and bad.
Right.
How would you rate today's performance all the way around for the Washington Commanders?
Well, for me, preseason is pass or fail. This was a fail because they didn't win the game. I saw some promising things in reference to this particular game. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't a blowout or anything like that. So it wasn't like an embarrassing performance. But I think that they're still treating this as practice, which is a good and a bad thing. Yes, we want you to practice. Yes, we want you to, work out all the issues that you may have. So I'm not going to be too harsh on them because of that. But clearly, you still got some things you got to work out because you didn't get that W. But it's preseason, so it doesn't. It's not necessarily going to tarnish your record or anything like that. But it's the Jets. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Well, these aren't. This is not the Jets of old, is what I'm going to say.
Correct.
This Jets defense
from last season, and season I would have been mad at them too.
Well, Robert Saleh, we know, is a great coach. We know he's a really good coach. He puts together a defense, and we didn't even see their A-list players. We didn't see Breece Hall. We didn't see Aaron Rodgers, but we didn't see most of their top defensive linemen. But you did see nothing.
Their running back is. They need to find a way to address that. Hey, Woody. But we need to. That's the issue. what's it? Braylon Allen. Is
For
that his
us or
name?
for them?
No, for the
Bryce,
Jets.
For the Jets, their top running back is Bryce Hall.
No.
He didn't
I'm
play,
talking about in
but
the
their
game.
second guy.
Yeah.
Their second guy, he played. And
That's
he did
who
good.
embarrassed us.
They are trying different combos to see what works. This is what Garage Gym Life says as well. They're trying different combos to see what works.
Correct.
I think that for your first preseason game, you want to see steady improvement as you put more and more starters into the game. We didn't see a Bobby Wagner to tie the front end to the back end. We didn't see that glue in the middle of the field, the defensive quarterback. We didn't see him today. I thought the defense flew around. I thought that they did make plays. I thought Dyami showed well for himself today with a nice grab.
I thought of you.
He also dropped the pass. Yeah. I thought that Forbes showed that he had some fight today. He actually got in the way of a couple of people, made a couple of tackles. He had an active first half of the game.
I do think you can tell they've been working with him though. That I like, because we cannot have him in the regular season being dragged down the field again. We can't have that. So you can tell, you can see some improvements. You can see where they work. But you're right.
Mark today. Mark it down. God dog it, I'm a start. That's a positive comment from Don right there. That's a positive comment. John, do you believe that? That's a positive comment from Dump Truck Don right there. He says they went toe to toe with one of the best defenses in the league last year. They absolutely did. They had an offensive drive that went right down the field, bang, 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 touchdown. Right? That's what they did today. And they did it in all kinds of ways. They ran the ball. They ran the ball. They passed the ball. They had a setback. The young quarterback, he checks out of a bad play when he says I saw pretty much the whole defense within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So I checked out of the play and went over the top with Dyami. Dyami fought for the ball. He literally fought for the ball, which is
what?
Something we never see.
Oh, okay.
Something we never see. So let me ask this question. Tell me a person's name, everyone in the chat as well. Tell me someone's name that you guys did not think about today that showed well for themselves, that you may give, oh, you know what? You played a little good today. Let's give you some more snaps in practice. Let's give you a little bit more time on the field once we know that you can handle the more assignments today. For me, that person was Jamin Davis.
Wow, I like it.
That was Jamin Davis for me.
And you know what? That's actually pretty good, because if you think back, Jamin has this bad stipulation to him, and I don't think that it was fair. So I do like that, and I do think that he has stepped it up. Actually, after that moment where his coach spoke negatively of him, we're not going to go deep into that, but I think that from that moment he's been going up. Okay.
I was after Dump Truck Don. I'm glad you said this name. After his first catch, I was ready to cut Cole Turner. I was ready to cut Cole. I was ready to send Cole Turner packing, because this young man, he looked like he refused to go down. Right. He looked like he's like, I'm not going down. I was ready to go to the locker room, pack up Cole Turner stuff, and tell him hit the road. It's time to go.
With this staff, Cole needs to step it up. Like it's very clear, because they're not playing favorites. They're like, who's here to win? And Ben definitely showed a little more effort.
He did. A lot more effort. Not only that, but
I'm with John too on KJ.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get there. He impressed me with his after the catch ability. That's what we were supposed to see out of Cole Turner. We were supposed to see, Cole Turner was supposed to be a playmaker in space, get catch passes, make people miss, because he had a taller body. He ran faster than the normal tight end. But this tough tight end was trucking down the field. Safety was bouncing off of him, he did it time and time again. You're going to get more snaps from me.
Mhm.
Let's go with John's here. He says Ozzie impressed me as a returner, and KJ did as well off the edge.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I agree with KJ especially. I noticed that as well.
let's talk about Ozzie first because I'm not even going to butcher that name. And then Brian Mitchell called him
I'm glad you said Ozzie. I'm really proud of you.
So I'm going to call him Ozzie. Ozzie did impress me today as well. I think he had a couple of catches that got called back because of penalties, but only thing he did was make plays. And this is one that a lot of people have been talking about. They've been saying this wide receiver, he's actually pushing to make the roster as a kick returner and as a wide receiver, which was really, really impressing me. And I'm starting to think if we see him going back catching punts, then our other guy may be a little bit in danger, who is our
think about what we've had in that position in the past, right?
Well, I'm not talking about the fair catch gangster. I'm not talking about
that's
him.
what I'm saying. So we need that, that was something that we knew for a fact that we fell short on. So there you have it.
I'm thinking about Crowder. Crowder could be if we see Ozzie back returning punts, then Crowder could be the one that I'm thinking about maybe in trouble. KJ Henry was everywhere today, John. KJ Henry was everywhere today.
And I'm happy about that. He's young. He has the energy. Use it. Use that effectively. And I think that I really do. The one thing I can say coming out of this game is that I do see the improvements. I do see specifically who they're working with, who they're utilizing properly. Because one thing a good coach is going to do, they're going to pay attention to their players' strengths and put them in the right position, give them the right tools, and then also understand your players' weaknesses. Yeah. And try to do something so that you can kind of flip it. Like I said with Forbes, for instance, that wasn't done with him before. And that was irritating. He's fast. Yes. Utilize him just different. You can't put him on somebody that's 3 times his size and expect him to take someone down.
Exactly.
You can't. So, all
right.
But yeah, I agree with Don on Cole. I mean, it is what it is. And I feel like right now people are being exposed because it's not about who's the favorite. It's not, they're not believing the hype. If you say that this is who you are, show me. Yeah. And John, what you said.
Hold on. I'm going to get to John. I'm going to get that right. Okay. So John says, Cole Turner is warm dumpster juice. OTA superhero regular season Invisible Man, and then he comes back and he says Ozzie had a nice one that got called back because of Turner's penalty.
Oh, Turner's penalty.
Right.
We can't have that.
Right. Exactly. I don't like Turner because he disappears in the regular season. Just like who?
Oh my goodness. Pick's favorite player.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if Diami does what Diami did today, next week, I'll like him for the day. He has to earn my like every day.
Exposure. That's what I'm talking about, exposure. We know we did not have a good coaching staff. We know that. So now that we have a new coaching staff, okay, what are Diami's strengths? Let's play to that.
Well,
and that's probably why you saw a different performance today.
Yeah. They always said he's fast. So tell me someone that you was expecting to hear from and did not hear from today. Well, I was expecting to hear a lot more from McCaffrey. To me, McCaffrey had pretty much a quiet day. And I'm going to say this. Maybe the coaches know what they have already.
That's what I was going to say.
And it was done that way intentionally. So McCaffrey's my person.
So I didn't expect to see a lot from him. There's certain players that you don't expect to see a lot from right now. It's a preseason game. They may have already made their mind up with him, Therefore, the plays are centered around other people that they want to see how they are going to do against another opponent versus just, this is not practice, this is not OTAs. How are you going to do against another team? I think that that's what we've been seeing. That's what we saw today is, them trying to see how are you going to perform in a game. John, that's true.
That's what you talk about right there?
No. I was talking about Jordan McGee.
Oh, Jordan McGee. I was surprised too because we didn't play Bobby Wagner, so I thought that McGee may have been flying around, making plays.
We don't know. And to what because I feel like beyond me now that we have a new coaching staff, let's see what he's really about. That's really where I am with that. And to what Don said, Jahan, that's another person I don't really expect to see a whole lot from him right now.
Well, I think the coaches have him out there.
Yeah, I think
the coaches have him out there so that he can gain confidence. I think that's what's going on with Jahan.
Yeah, I think it's a different. It's just a difference with Jahan. I don't think that they are putting him in the game to necessarily test how he's going to perform against other people the way that they would like a rookie,
Right.
Jahan's still young, but he has some games under his belt.
Yeah, they got to get him back off that sophomore slump. I think the tackle that you're talking about, Don, our Coleman, he didn't play today. I think that's what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. But I think that's what you're talking about. Okay, so preseason is fully underway. We'll start talking more and more. Brandon Coleman, yeah. If you mean it's Brandon Coleman, he didn't play today. Injury, yeah, he sat out. Right. We're talking more and more football as we are closer to the football season here. Let's switch over to the Olympics, Lady A.
Yay!
Olympics.
We're doing amazing right now.
You got a medal count for me?
Well, give me a second. I forgot to pull it up. Hold on.
I'll find the medal count while you talk.
I got it.
Okay.
I can do two things at once now.
So for the 5th Olympics in a row, the U.S. men failed to hit the podium for the 4x1, which is it's a rock star event. It is a rock star event.
And it was all into a penalty this time, though.
Well, they could not pass the baton.
Yeah.
The relay race is baton centric. Everything goes off of pass the baton.
And it was the first pass, wasn't it?
It was the first pass between the first runner and the second, between first leg and second leg on the 4x1. That was a straight failure.
It was sad to see, I will admit. But keep in mind one thing that a lot of people don't realize. Noah, the DMV native that is a superstar,
Noah Lyles
Olympics, he didn't run. He tested positive for COVID, which for those who don't know, right now there are a lot of athletes who have got COVID. They got COVID. You have all these people from all these different countries, so that's what happened. So Noah didn't run, so it was a last minute replacement. So that's where we are. Not to say that those two, I think those two might have still been running anyway.
No, actually, it probably would have been. Kung Fu Kenny wouldn't have been on the second leg. That would have been where Fred was. Fred was the anchor.
Yeah, because they shifted around.
They had to shift it because Lyles didn't run.
And one of the main things, though, about having an Olympic team, you're used to passing to specific people, and there is like it's a connection that you have with that person. Like, yeah, okay, I know, but he ran to who was it that ran too fast? Who was the second leg?
It was Kung Fu Kenny.
Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kenny.
Kenny went. He ran before he was supposed to. That's really what it was.
I think that the way it appeared to me was the first leg got out faster than Kenny thought. He misjudged that speed, and Kenny didn't get out. And then they had a terrible time passing the ball.
They said Kenny ran before he was supposed to. That was the issue.
Let's talk about these. Let's talk about these ladies, because there we go. Let's talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these ladies on the track have been putting it down.
They have.
The 4x400, both teams won their 4x4. The men won the 4x400, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They won the 4x400. And the women's 4x400 team was just awesome. That was a fight for second place because
we got it. We got first.
It was a fight for second. But let's talk about the 4x100
because that was something.
All I know is someone did this.
Just terrible.
And then hit that zoom on him. He was Sha'Carri Richardson is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, and I'm gonna put this out there. Anyone who knows anything about track and field, you're not supposed to look over. Okay, you're not. We know this. You're not supposed to look over because that's how some people lose, you know. But that's what she did. I mean, she's a showman.
She had that road runner in it. Mimi.
Yeah, she did. I mean, shout out to them. And for those who remember Tokyo, like this was her moment. You know, she's like, I'm here. I am able to compete. Let's go. And she proved that she deserved to be there. So shout out to her. We had some very who was it? For hurdles. Who did hurdles? Was that Sydney?
Yes, that's Sydney.
Sydney. She ran the hurdles like there were no hurdles.
Her 400. You talking about the 400 hurdles?
Yes.
Yeah, she ran a 50 something with hurdles. So and
there were no hurdles.
and that's what I was saying with the 4x400 when they did the 4x400. When Sydney got the baton, first off the first leg, she did her thing. She and Jamaica dropped out in that first half, or maybe it was the second lap that they dropped out. But she came around. She had them battling right in the middle of it, and then they passed the baton to Sydney. Sydney got the baton, and it was gotta go. See you. I got somewhere to be.
Gone.
And she just increased that thing and blew it open, and then they turned it over to my new favorite crush.
Who's your favorite crush? Tell us.
I'm not going to tell you, but they gave it to her.
Clearly, you just said that, so you might as well say the name, but.
I mean, y'all know who it is. She's beautiful. She's amazing.
Who?
Miss Thompson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Thompson?
I think that's her last name, Thompson. She's amazing. But she did her thing. She came out there. And it seems like whenever these two are on a relay, you know it's over. It's over. 4x1, 4x400. When they just do their thing. And it was amazing to me. So Sydney, she did her thing. It's great. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the lady.
So Sydney, Gabby, those two, like they're having a rock star moment, I will say.
Oh yeah. I think that was their first gold medal, right, Dawn?
Yeah. There's a few countries. I'm gonna put it out there. There's a few countries that are getting a lot of firsts right now. Mm-hmm. So shout out to them. I do have the medal count. We actually have dropped back down to second place for the medal count. And just so people know, the medal count, we have the most medals, but we don't have the most gold right now. Right now, China is at 39. We are 38. So they got one more up on us.
No, I thought that once the men won, I don't think that's up to date, but once the men won, I thought we went into a tie. once the U.S. men
yeah,
won.
And then we were tied at 38. And now they have one more.
From what event? Because I know it's coming to an end because we picked up a bunch of gold medals today. Like the U.S. national women's soccer team won, which is where we were headed next.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodman's daughter won her gold medal.
Yes, Trinity got hers. Yeah.
Their goalie for the U.S. national women's team.
Yeah, so we were tied as of yesterday. Okay. And then now they have one up on us.
Okay. The U.S. national women's the U.S. national women's soccer team's goalie has set some kind of record. I can't remember what it was, but I know she had a clean sheet. We won 1-0. She had an amazing one-handed save from pretty much point blank range today. It's been all over the highlights, but for the U.S. women's national team, for them, it's you talk about
Alyssa. Alyssa is her name.
The goalie?
I don't want to mess up her last name.
Yeah, she is amazing. But for this national team, for them to lose as much experience as they did from that World Cup winning team, that from all of the people that was on that team to now, for them to come back with this pressure and still bring home the gold for us, outstanding. That tells you that U.S. women's soccer is doing the right thing. They're finding the talent. They're putting it onto the team and letting them grow. And then when it's time for them to get out there, they're just putting them out there and letting them go. And these women are doing an excellent job. So, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, shout out to all of our Olympians. They're knocking it out. And for the first time ever for the Olympics, there are 50% women, 50% men. Nice. This is the first time it's ever been half and half like that. So, the earlier Olympics, women were not able to compete, and we see these women being rock stars. So, kudos to them.
Lady A.
That was horrible.
I don't even think it should be an Olympic sport.
Olympic breakdancing, so let me just put this out there. So this is a conversation I had earlier today. The Olympics, when it comes to the different competitions that you see, they go through a strenuous process.
Yeah.
So knowing that strenuous process, what in the world is this? And then on top of that, one thing that a lot of people, it's so much going on. The Olympics are so fast. You have all these different events. There are things that are not in the Olympics this year that used to be. You notice baseball's not there, softball's not there, and karate is not there. Judo is there though. And pretty much what happens with the Olympic Games, all of the older events, they come up every once in a while for like reevaluation to see if they want to keep it. In the modern Olympics, like in more recent years, if they want to introduce something new, they have to take something away. I want to know, what did they take away for the breakdancing?
Maybe it was the baseball.
No, the breakdancing, I don't think this is the first. Is this the first year for the breakdancing?
This is the first year of breakdancing.
Oh.
Maybe it was baseball because, remember, back in the past, baseball. What would happen was baseball would take a pause during the Summer Olympics because you have all the other countries and a lot of them, Japan, China, all those teams, plus the players in the MLB that are from other countries, they go represent their country. And then I think they do this the same time, I think during the World Series of baseball, like when they, not the World Series, whatever it's called. It's like the World Cup of baseball. They'll take a pause at that point in time too. So if you notice, baseball's still going on. So baseball's not there.
Baseball has been taking out softball and, like I said, karate. And a lot of people who were in karate, the only thing you have now is judo, which has been making waves this year. I've noticed that France had an amazing team. I give them credit this year.
All right, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that.
The women's national basketball team, they're up to like 50 plus games without losing. They play for their gold medal. Their gold medal game is tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. That'll tie us with China, right? Or will we still be down because of some other technicalities or whatever?
But no. I mean, they literally have one more than us at this point. So it's just a matter of how things play out. But we have way more than China as a whole. But it's about the
goal.
I mean the goal. Yeah.
Right. So we can tie them tomorrow with the goal. If the females win, I'm just going to assume that they are, but I'm going to watch the game anyway. If you watch the gold medal game today between France and the United States, you saw one heck of a game. And if you missed it, go back and watch it.
Yeah.
And I tell you that the French national basketball team was not afraid of the men's U.S. basketball team. They were not. I mean, I'm telling you, I think it was like in the first 4 minutes, some little dude ran up on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had to step to his face like, yo, we ain't doing that today.
Right.
LeBron got dunked on.
County. That's that
PG County, right? That's that PG County. LeBron got dunked on today, and then he came back and returned the favor.
Yeah.
They were throwing bowls. They was talking stuff. Victor Wembanyama's boys was going at it. LeBron and they was going at it too.
Yeah.
It was a legit. I mean, France has legit NBA talent on their team. This is the second year that they've gotten a gold medal. This is the second time in the Olympics that they've fallen short of getting a gold, but it's been to the U.S. both times.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry, you know why he was on the team, one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Indeed.
And he said the only thing that was missing from his resume was an Olympic gold medal, and he committed to Team USA. And did he rock them boys to sleep? He
made sure that we secured gold. And let's put it out there. I mean, France, they had home court advantage.
Yes,
they did.
Yes,
and that's what it is.
That's how you're supposed to do it, though. That's because next year, the next Olympics is held in Los Angeles.
Yes, and we better show up.
Do you not think that we're not going to show up and do the exact same thing? Man, that crowd was so hyped. But every time a French athlete touched any bit of the Olympics, they supported their countrymen and women, loud cheers, chanting, singing the whole time. The Olympics is a party for everybody anyway. Yeah. But the play on the court, yeah. And Serbia woke the U.S. up for this France game. Yeah. They woke the U.S. up. It was amazing. It was amazing.
So, I mean, kudos to them. They did what they were supposed to do. They represented us well, getting the gold.
Yeah. LeBron wore his gold shoes during the game. I don't know where they went after the game, but he changed shoes. I'm guessing he gave them to his wife or somebody else to put away.
Because those shoes are probably, they're worth something.
They're probably going to wind up in the NBA Hall of Fame or something like that.
Something.
Or maybe a pair that looks just like it, whichever way you decide to go. What else we got, Lady A?
That's it. That's
it. So we covered everything?
We have covered everything. And all right. Some.
And some. I got you. Okay, so listen up. Next week on Tuesday, we have David Harrison coming on to review this last game with us and give us any news and notes from Washington Commanders training camp. That'll be on Tuesday. On Saturday, August 17th, Lady A and myself will be joined by Bleeding Burgundy podcast at an early time, and we're going to do a projected 53-man roster for the Washington Commanders. So we're going to have a long show. I think that one's going to bleed over into our regular time, but we're going to do a projected 53-man roster. We'll have 2 preseason games under our belt at that point in time. we should know more and more about the younger people that are on the bubble of making the team. So we'll be doing our homework. So next week we have a great week for you guys as well. We really do appreciate all the love and everything that you've shown the podcast. And Lady A, it's been 3 years now.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's been 3 years.
What?
So this podcast has officially hit 3 years. So thank you all for supporting First String Podcast. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys tell a friend about First String Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to First String Podcast. And we'll keep doing what we do, bringing you good guests with lots of insight about the NFL, NBA, everything that we get our hands on. We'll pass that information on to you. Say's not here. We thought he was going to make it, but he got caught up at work today. So,
yes.
Shouts out to my son, United States Air Force, First String Podcast, second to none. Come get some. Lady A, Sid would say, go dogs. And I say, hail.
Hail.
Artlist.io